I'm John Schaefer from WNYC Radio, here with composer Phil Kline to talk about Around the World in a Daze, a remarkable project commissioned by Starkland specifically to be written in surround sound. And Phil, it would have been hard for Starkland to have chosen a more appropriate composer because throughout your career, the use of space, of sound in space, has been a real concern of yours. How did that interest in the kind of the physicality of sound and the spatial aspects of the way sound is produced, how did that interest start for you?
Well, my interest in spatial treatment in music, I mean, you can relate this to a number of classical composers, but I think it's something that's got to be part and parcel of any American kid who grows up with rock and roll. Because more than any other instrument I can think of, you feel the vibrations of that music in my electric guitar bouncing off the walls, the sense of space. I mean, we're always forced to perform in odd spaces to begin with, garages or junior high school gymnasiums. And so, you know, what might to some people be considered bad acoustics, wrong acoustics, strange acoustics, are something we grew up knowing and loving and working with. So for a start, I mean, I think that's where my love of space comes from.
How did some of these ideas begin to play themselves out in your composing, whether that's for quote-unquote conventional instruments or for boom boxes?
I think the issues of space came into my music, once again, like I said, you can relate these to various classical antecedents. Charles Ives is one of my gods out of American history, and I know the work of other more recent avant-garde composers that have used space. But in a way, it's also part of an accident, because when I first started doing performance artworks, I used an orchestra of boomboxes because they were interesting, potent, portable, independent sound sources. That's the thing, is that instead of having something coming out of your stereo, I could have it coming out of a 16, 20, 100 voice stereo, and it created a flexible, fluid, spatial kind of thing that had a life of its own. So in a way, I was just sort of seduced into it that way by accident, and then it just became part of my work.
And of course, you could place a boombox, because it is portable, anywhere, so you could create a kind of surround sound.
Totally, yes.